I'm 100% ready. You know, if I wouldn't have took, if I didn't believe I wasn't ready, I wouldn't have took the fight in his backyard. You know what I mean? So I just know I crossed every T and dotted every I for this camp, and I'm ready. I'm ready to set fireworks off.
We know what we have in front of us is going to be a tough fight, but we trained well for that, and I'm going to use that my experience as an advantage and my hometown, of course.
Let me tell you something. I know Emmanuel Navarrete, the WBO junior lightweight champion, going up against in a unification fight against Eduardo Sugar Nunes, who is the IBF junior lightweight champion of the world. I know it's not catching the wavelengths of casual boxing fans. I know if you're a casual boxing fan, you probably didn't even know that this fight is going down this weekend and that Emiliano Vargas is going to be part of the card. Abel Ramos is taking on Tahmir Smalls. You probably didn't know none of that. But let me tell you something. You must tune in. This just might be one of the most exciting cards of the year. And I'm talking about bloodiness, wars, heart, grittiness, everything that you can expect if you're a hardcore boxing fan, if you're a casual boxing fan that isn't into the boxing style, you know, the hit and don't get hit type style that comes in the world of boxing. If you're into wars, two guys standing in front of each other, trading blows, this card is absolutely gonna suit you perfectly, man. And there's one fight that I want to talk about that stands out more than all of them to me when we're talking about wars and we're talking about heart and grittiness. This fight might be one of the fights of the years between Tahmir Smalls. Tahmir Smalls going in here as a minus 350 favorite, fighting out of Philly, Pennsylvania, trading out of the Bozy Ennis gym, training with guys like Jerome Boots Ennis and Andy Cruz to prepare him, going in to this fight in what is, in my opinion, the most toughest fight of his career, fighting the fighter with the most experience and most skills in his career by the name of Abel Ramos, who is fighting in his hometown of Arizona, training out of the Ramos Academy in Arizona, my people. Abel Ramos having already had 37 fights in his career. 37 fights compared to Tahmir Smalls, 16 fights. More than double Abel Ramos has experience over Tahmir Smalls. Now, Abel Ramos has a record of 28 wins, 6 losses, and 3 draws, but has fought way, way, way higher level fighters than Tahmir Smalls has ever fought. Abel Ramos was coming off a draw with Mario Barrios back in 2024 of November. Has not fought in a year and 3 months. Was supposed to come back and fight in July on the undercard of Mario Barrios versus Manny Pacquiao, but ends up having an injury and is due to continue to stay inactive. This has been an inactive fighter for, I would say, since 2020. You're talking about a guy who fought 2 times in 2024, a guy who fought once in 2023, once in 2022, once in 2021. Very, very inactive fighter. Has 2 wins in the last 5 years. And in my opinion, the most notable win was against Omar Figueroa Jr. That goes back all the way to 2021. Since then, it's just been tough for him. Now, this guy's not getting knocked out or anything like that. He's losing all his fights in tough wars, where in these fights, he's also laying down his own skills and his own game. But every single fighter just seems like he's not able to do enough to get the judges on his side or win the fight. A lot of people thought he'd beat Mario Barrios. It didn't end up going like that. When I first seen this fight get announced and I did tape study, I said, Abel Ramos should be able to win this fight. I don't understand the odds at him being this big of an underdog going in against a guy who's pretty much green in his career. He's been fighting better and better and better opponents. In my opinion, Tahmir Small's best opponents that he's fought are guys like Jose Vasquez, that welterweight that he just fought, that was standing at 6'2". 6'2" is going to cause problems for everybody, right? And Luis Alberto Verón, he beat a couple fights ago, but Luis was a guy who went to decision when guys like Alexis Rocha went to decision with guys like Elvis Rodriguez. Tahmir Smalls knocked him out in round 7. The thing about Tahmir Smalls that scares me in this fight with Abel Ramos, you look at Abel Ramos, you see he's a tough, durable fighter. He's been in 12-round fights before. This fight is a 10-round fight against Tahmir Smalls. Tahmir Smalls still has never fought a 12-round fight. In his last fight against Jose Vasquez, it looked like he was starting to gas out. And I look at Abel Ramos and I say, bro, if you're gassing out against a guy like Abel Ramos, somewhere in the 5th and the 6th round, this is a guy who is going to pick you apart. A lot of people thought he beat Mario Barrios in what was a ridiculous war, but he was laying hands on Barrios. The difference and the thing that scares me is Abel Ramos stands at 5'9", and so does Tahmir Smalls. But Tahmir Smalls is huge. Huge for this welterweight weight class. The dude looks humongous. Big arms, big frame. Honestly, it looks like he's going to be double the size of Abel Ramos when it comes to frame-wise. Yes, they're the same height, but Tahmir Smalls looks huge, and I think he knows this. If you look and you study tape, you see he puts forward pressure in every single one of his fights. He puts forward pressure because he feels like he's the stronger fighter. He knocks dudes out with 11 wins by way of knockout, only 5 decisions, and actually has skills behind it, trains with high level fighters. I seen the odds get dropped. I seen this fight get announced, and I said Abel Ramos should be able to win this. But Tahmir Smalls, yes, this is the most, experienced fighter that he's ever fought. But I do feel like the size and the power that Tahmir Smalls has will be able to give him success. Now, I see him winning the first 5 rounds. I do see Tahmir Smalls winning the first 5 rounds. But then I see Abel Ramos picking it up. If he's able to withstand the first 6 rounds, 5 rounds with Tahmir Smalls and not get knocked out, because I can't see Tahmir Smalls going in here and knocking this guy out. The amount of openings that you see, just the bad habits that Abel Ramos has in his defense. He's a very hittable fighter, and I can see a guy like Tahmir Smalls, if he's able to step on that punch, he can knock out Abel Ramos. But if he's not able to do it, and he gets tired, just like how we've seen in his last fight against Jose Vasquez, coming to the 10-rounder fights now, if he gets tired against somebody like Abel Ramos, who knows how to go to the body, knows how to work you, also was looking to put forward pressure, Tahmir Smalls trying to put forward pressure, I could see Tahmir Smalls getting tired in this fight. And I can see Abel Ramos starting to pick it up and win the second half of the fight. First half, Tahmir Smalls. Second half, if it gets there, I can see Abel Ramos starting to win this fight. Now, the question is, will he do enough to win it? Because, like in good fashion that Abel Ramos always does, he doesn't do enough to make the decision. The judges give him the decision. He has draws. He has a bunch of decision losses. Sometimes it's just, he's in these wars, but it takes a little too long for him to really get set up. And by the time he does, he's down in the rounds. So he's always catching back up. I see Abel Ramos being able to beat Tahmir Smalls in this fight. But I also see Tahmir Smalls coming in here as the younger, more vibrant, more active fighter, being able to beat Abel Ramos and end up on that next level. Therefore, my pick is we're gonna see a great fight. Yo, I don't know who's gonna win this fight. It's a tough one to call. I want to say Abel Ramos is gonna win it. From what I've seen, based off of tape study, based off of the opponents, based off of the level, based off of how many fights that we've seen from both fighters, I would say Abel Ramos is going to go in here and win this fight. But Tahmir Smalls is big as how, dude. He's big as how, and it ain't a 12-round fight. It's just a 10-rounder. We're going to see. Jose Vasquez was doing good work, but you got to understand the dude was 6'2". Tahmir Smalls going in there with somebody his size now, somebody that he's going to be able to push back because of his power. I see it being an absolute war. I see it being one of the best fights of the year, possibly. Abel Ramos versus Tahmir Smalls, in my opinion, is a 50-50 fight. It ain't a plus 300 or minus 300. I don't see it. I think it's 50-50, and I think it's going to be an absolute war. Let me know what you guys think, man. The fight tomorrow, you got Emiliano Vargas going against Agustin Quintana, who will be Mark Castro. This is going to be a great, great fight to see where Emiliano Vargas really is at his career. 16-0, what? 13 wins coming by way of a knockout. It's going to be fantastic, man. Emmanuel Navarrete having visa issues, but he was able to show up Thursday night going up against Eduardo Sugar Nunes. My goodness, man. This is definitely barbecue worthy, in my opinion. I got something going down tomorrow with the family. It should be a great night. Let me know what you guys think, man. I'm out.